Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem. So we're Pasuk Kaf Bet. Okay? That's where we finished in the last shiur. We addressed the Pasuk just lightly, but now we're going into it, and we're addressing another phase or the last phase, if you will, in the first perek, almost the last phase of the first perek of Mishlei. So after Shlomo HaMelech addressed all the different types of flaws and fools and types of people that are not connected and are not focused and choose the wrong things, he now attacks it and he says, Ad matai, until when? Petaim, the simple, and we're going to understand what that means. Te'ehavu peti, until when, you simple people, will you like and love simplicity? Veletzim, and the mockers, Latson hamedu lahem, and you're eager. How you mockers? How long will you be eager to mock, to enjoy mockery? Uksilim, and the stupid ones, Yisne udaat, you will hate knowledge. So here in this pasuk, you feel the emotional resentment and anger of David HaMelech against those three types of people. Ad matai, when you say until when you lose patience.
Yes? How much longer?
How much longer? Until when will you stay so stubborn? Right? That's the ad matai. Until when? How long? In the word ad matai, in those words also, there is a meaning of disgrace of time, right? We are connecting the how long, the value of time, or the loss of the value of time, to those actions or those players or those people, type of people. So what Shlomo HaMelech is coming to tell him when he says Ad matai, he says, when will you wake up and realize how valuable your time is, and not, or stop doing what and behaving the way you behave? Like the Zohar says that it's in Chelek Gimel there. He says Tahazi. He says, see, Barnash Azil Behai Alma. The man lives in this world, and he thinks he owns it. And he believes he's going to live forever. Says Shlomo HaMelech, the reason why people are compliant and so comfortable and do not change is because they think they live forever. Step number one, meaning if you want to change and be sensitive to the cause of growth, you must recognize value of time. If you don't value time, and if you don't recognize that you're on this planet for a very specific number of hours and days, you will not change. That is the depth of the screaming of Shlomo HaMelech when he says Ad matai. Good. And then there's a pasek. If you see, I don't know if your Mishlei has the te'amim, but if it has, he says Ad matai, psak, right? Pasek. that Pasek is coming to tell you first, if you are the way you are, you people that he's addressing after that, is because you don't have the word matai. Matai is when. Chazal tell us, Chayav Adam lomar bechol yom matai yagiu ma'asai le'maaseh avotai. A man has the obligation every day to say when, matai, my actions will follow, will reach the actions of our forefathers Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. So the word matai, when, is a key word. Is a key word to reframe our obligations, our value of time, and take advantage of the moment in a positive way. Like I said, Chachamim say, when a person has an obligation every day to say, when will my actions be like the actions of my forefathers? But if you don't have that when, then it's ad matai, until when? And then he categorizes 3 types of people that are disconnected from the Torah, disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It starts with the petty, the simple. What is the definition of a simple, says the Gaon? The simple is the one that doesn't see past the pleasures of the body, the enjoyment of the moment, and therefore for him, life revolves around that moment. It's about a compilation of many of those pleasures of those moments. So for him, this is what life is. There is no foresight of what happens after the moment, the impact that moment will have in the future. The simple-minded person, the petty, is the person that doesn't know how to integrate in the evaluation of his actions the vector of time. And he says, and you know why you go along with this for so long? Te'ehavu peti, because you love pleasures. So the loving of the pleasure is basically what numbs and anesthesiates the nefesh of a person, his intellect, his reflection, and therefore does not put into account the vector of time when he makes a decision. He is so overwhelmed and so uplifted by the pleasure of the moment that it freezes and Pashut shuts down his ability to think. And says the Gaon, this is one type and one level of disconnect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And with himself, essentially, yeah? With the person himself. The Gaon, also in the Kitvei Yad, he says another reason why people do not change, and they love what they are doing, and it's easy, and they stay the way they are with their ta'avot, with their desires, is because they're always looking for the next desire, for the next pleasure.
It's like drinking salt water. You know, you think you're hydrating, but you actually
exactly, and you drink more, and you drink more, and you drink more. That's number one. So it's like the drug addict, looking, for the next pleasure, always looking for the next high. And he says, and that is cushioned with a rationale that what has been now is exactly what will be tomorrow. I ate today, I will eat tomorrow. I'm rich today, I will be rich tomorrow. I have money today, I'll have money tomorrow. This is the structure of the psychology of the petty, and why the petty cannot get out of his own ways. So he has the rationale that we live in a status quo. I live forever, right? Nothing will change. If I'm comfortable today, I will be comfortable tomorrow. So I don't need to think about tomorrow, because there's no reason to think about tomorrow. Why things should change? The desire, the junkie desire to jump from one desire to the other, and essentially the illusion that the person will live forever. Why is the person thinking that he will live forever? Because he's always stuck in his own moment. Good?
Yeah.
This is the first level. An above level, a higher level of we're going to say more
or lower level, depending on how you look at it.
Yes, for sure. No, it's a lower level, but it's a higher level in the
higher level of bad.
Yeah. Hold on, please. 1 second. 1 second. So the more sophisticated level of disconnect, v'leitzim latson hamdu lahem, and the mockers envy. Hamdu is desire, eager, right? To mock more, mockery. So here, what is a little bit more sophisticated? Says the Gaon, there's a difference between to be eager, the hemda, and the ta'ava, and the desire. Right? You have hemdat kavod, and you have ta'avat ochel, ta'ava of whatever, the physical desire. So he says the Gaon, the ta'ava, the definition of ta'ava, is when you desire something that you have a physical pleasure from. For example, hemdat mamon, to be eager of money, you don't have pleasure of the money. You have pleasure of what you do with the money. But the money in itself doesn't give you any physical pleasure. How you will use your money is what will give you the physical pleasure. But in itself, we're eager to make more money and more money, but essentially, this doesn't bring you any physical pleasure. So says the Gaon, the same thing. This comes from the ruach. It comes from the spirit, from where the midot are. And he says the same thing is a letz. What's a letz? A mocker, somebody that mock people and all day long mocks life. What pleasure? What physical pleasure does this guy get? He doesn't get any pleasure physically. The only pleasure he gets is from the people he is mocking to actually laugh about it. When you mock someone, you only enjoy mocking the person. If somebody that hears you enjoys and laughs. So there's no physical pleasure. So the same thing is kavod. Kavod. Kavod, there's no the desire of kavod, to be eager to have kavod. That doesn't give you any physical pleasure. What it does is that you're on a high when you see people giving you the kavod. So it's like through the validity of a third party, it creates an emotional high.
So
but physically, you don't get anything.
The let's is really chasing kavod. That's the motivation.
The let's is no, the motivation of the let's. Now we're going to get to that. Beautiful. We're going to get to the motivation of the mocker is the pleasure that he gets when the third party laughs at his mockery. So he feels like relevant. I'm funny, I'm relevant, people like to be around me because of how I mock life, or I mock people. So says the Gaon, now, where does that come from? Because it is not a physical desire, but more an emotional desire, and it comes from the midot, it comes from the ruach, from what the Rambam calls the koach hamitorer, the awakening, the instinct that awakes, right? It says the Gaon, depending on how much you give importance and you allow that emotion to be prominent in your behavior in your life, this will dictate how intense your behavior of a mocker will be. And same thing with the egocentric. The more the ego takes a big place in his essence, the more he allows the ego to take over his behavior, and it's a need, right, of identity and existence, the more his behavior will translate into an egocentric behavior. So says the Gaon, you only calm down, you're only satisfied once you have filled that emotional need of ego, or in that case, of high to mock, to the level of what you have desired for. So it's like a vessel. The bigger the vessel of ego, the bigger the vessel of mockery is, and the more you need to do it in order to be satisfied. And that's the hemda, and that's the eagerness.
Right. And the reason why this is worse than the petty is because it's not physical. It's
exactly, there's no pleasure. The petty is an idiot, but you know what? He eats, he drinks, he has his physical pleasures.
He's not so smart. He's chasing physical pleasure. This guy is on and needs to be satisfied emotionally.
That's right. The other guy, okay, so he doesn't go for the money, but he goes for things that are futile, completely futile. He doesn't get no benefit from it. So okay, people give him kavod. How does, like, can you my Magid Shiur told once when he was talking, he used to say, can you be mekadesh isha im zeh? Is it shave pruta? Can you marry a woman with this? It's not. Afilu shave pruta, it's not. Yeah, with the kavod. You can go to the makolet. In Israel, they say, can you go to the grocery store and buy potatoes with the kavod? You can't. You make people laugh. Can you make it? Doesn't get you anything but that emotional high at that moment. Good. This is the let's. And why and this is the reason why Shlomo HaMelech uses the word hemda and not the word ta'ava. Good?
Good.
And he says that also another flaw, big flaw of this behavior, of this desire, is that you are fully dependent on the people around you. The first guy, the petty, he's not really, he takes an apple, he likes the apple, he likes the hamburger, he likes the pizza, he likes, I don't know what, okay? He goes, he eats, it's finished. But this guy, if the people don't laugh or the people don't tell him how beautiful he is or how smart he is, the guy's dead.
Haman, by the way.
He's dead. CIA ego.
Yeah, he wasn't even chasing physical pleasure. One person didn't value him. The whole thing was worthless.
The kavod. Nachon. That is the second reason why people are disconnected from HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And we categorize that as a let's, right? That category?
As a let's, yes, the mocker. Uchsilim, and that's the stupid. Yisneu da'at. Now, you see, here there is an interesting shift. So in the first two categories, by the petty and by the let's, there is a proactive, a positive desire, ahava, the love for the physicality, or the eagerness, the desire for more mockery, right? But the stupid, which is the highest level of if we want of being so far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, David HaMelech, it doesn't say ve'eksilim yit'avu leksil. They will love stupidity. What does he say? And the stupids hate knowledge. You see, so it's a negative. The petty loves food, loves pleasures. The mocker desires mockery and kavod, but the stupid hates knowledge. So it's like a battle. He's in a battle against the knowledge. Here, and this is the, like, you would think that the stupid, he's stupid. But no. What makes him stupid, according to the Gaon, according to Shlomo HaMelech? He says the stupid realizes that the Torah requires effort, requires sacrifice, requires time. And because it's not coming to him the easy way, on a silver platter, he resents it. And he rejects it. And he chooses to be ignorant over knowledge, over being smart and enriched with knowledge, because the Torah is not delivered to him in a simple, easy way without any compromise.
They don't want to work.
They don't want to work. You have to internalize how dramatic this statement of Shlomo HaMelech is. It means that the stupid is the one that has the ability, has the tools, but is lazy. So essentially, he is sacrificing all his potential because he doesn't want to be bothered. And according to Shlomo HaMelech, the way the Gaon explains it, it's the highest level of the one that fights or is disconnected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, he says, another reason, factor to that behavior is because he never wanted to taste the Torah. He never wanted to taste the particularity, the beauty of the relationship with Hashem. It never bothered. So it's not only a physical thing. I have to go to Shulchan for a shiur. I have to go to my chavruta now to learn. I have to stop my day now. It's more than that. Now you want me to emotionally engage to try and feel something? Leave me alone. I don't want to feel anything. Do you understand?
There's a blocker up. There's a wall up that says, even if I can acquire it, I prefer not to.
Because and they don't want to taste it. They don't want the emotional connection.
And what's the driving emotional force behind that? What's the reason they don't want to?
They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be bothered.
Right.
Too comfortable. And he says that comfort that blocks them from a connection to the Torah translate essentially into hate of the Torah and of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? It's very simple. Because they see eventually that there is a source of light. They see people connected to the Torah thrive, grow, shine, enjoy, proactive, doing, connected. And then they see themselves that they don't have that. So it drives them mad. So the only way to fight and their position, to fight the Torah and validate their position is to hate it. Because if they don't hate the Torah, then they are basically proclaiming to everyone how dumb they are. It's like you tell someone that is, you take a poor man that doesn't have what to eat, okay? And he has in front of him a safe open. And people are saying, it's yours. It's yours. Everybody's looking to see if he's going to go into the safe, take a few dollars and go take a shower, go buy food, change his clothes. No, you don't know. This safe, there's a bomb in it. This safe, it's poison. But we keep on telling him, no, it's yours. It's for you. It's to uplift you. It's to make your life better. No, essentially, the only way the guy can survive in his mind and socially is to exteriorize hate and proclaim how bad and how how deteriorating, the Torah is, or that Sefer is. This is why Shlomo HaMelech said, Uksilim and the stupid, they hate knowledge. Because knowledge is there. Knowledge is emet. Knowledge is a power. So you cannot fight with the reality of knowledge, the power of knowledge. So how do you rationalize the fact that you don't benefit, you don't want to connect to any of that Torah, any of that knowledge? By hating it. By hating, that's the only way. Meaning, even if you love to be stupid, it doesn't help you. Yes.
Is it possible to say that maybe it's a mistake, but in Israel that there was a fight between the religious, that they are hating the religious, and this is the reason?
Could very well be, for sure. To a certain, well, it's a bit more intricate than that, yes. But because the mind and the reasoning creates a lot of
at
games.
The end they have a nice family, they enjoy life, and
but yes. Essentially, they say how these people, they grow, they blossom. Look, they have, like you say, they have a lot of kids, and they lie, and they eat, and and they don't do nothing. And while we're working, right? And yes, this creates hate. Now it's then layered with a lot of good reasoning, right? Because it has to come with reasoning. Do the same. Don't bother me. I want the playa. I want the bikini. I want the juice. I want to smoke the joint. I want the party. I want the raves. I want to do whatever I want on Shabbat. So that creates that leads to hating.
There's such a beautiful, overarching chidush here that's being built in the three levels, that you realize Shlomo is also telling you, if Hashem blesses you with more, your downside is much greater. The more you have, the more you're capable of, the downside is much greater, because if you're born and you don't have the sort of wherewithal to have chokhmah or acquire chokhmah, you're likely to, your downside is to be a petty. If you're born with chokhmah, you're born with talents, you're born with the ability, your downside is probably going to be a chsil, which is the lowest level.
Right. Nachon.
A much greater responsibility.
Nachon. Or every person has within them those three layers. Meaning you can be a petty, okay? And this is where your fight is.
Right.
Or the other way around. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or not having any desires and not being that. So we have those three.
Are you saying everyone has the three?
Yes. We have those three potentials. And the question is, where do we belong in that category of ourselves?
Right. But within your climb, right, the slope gets steeper.
Correct. For sure. That's Pasuk Kavbet, Ve'ezrat Hashem. Siyata Dishmaya.
Spectacular.
Oh,
we're back. We have to do three, and we do Chazakah again.
Amen. Amen.